Clean that. Clean it, Amy. Clean it. Ah! Okay, in this video we are going to make a terrarium. Yay! So first I need to figure out what size terrarium I want to use. These are all Exoterra terrariums, so they're kind of cool. You can have water in the bottom of them. This is one of the new frog ones. It's got like a drain thing in it, so that could come in super handy, because if you have too much water for some reason, you can just turn the little tap on the bottom and it will actually drain the water from the bottom layers. So what we are going to pick, depending on lots of different things, I'm considering maybe one of these 45 cubes, because we can do a nice viney sort of scape and all that sort of stuff there. But that's a 45 cube with the drainy bit, but we've only got a little tiny bit of bottom area. Everyone likes more bottom than that. That one there has more bottom to it than that one. It is dearer. Oh, it's taller. That's why. That's 60 centimeters, so that's 45. I don't know what we're going to pick. I keep going towards that one. It doesn't have a background, but I happen to have backgrounds, so I could use a background. So we are going, and I decided to go for the 45 cube. It's already got a background to it. It's only $225. I can fit a 45 centimeter light on top to grow my plants. We're going to go for this side. This side, this size. There we go. So this is a 45 by 45 cube. So we're going to do substrate layers and plants and stuff, and it's going to be lovely. So here is a visual list of what I've used. So you can use pretty much any super glue you want. I've just used stuff that we sell in the shop because it's easy, because it's right here. You need some sort of substrate that is, how big is that? That's between maybe 5 and 10 mil. That's going to be your drainage layer. So we're using scoria. You can use little pebbles, gravel, anything like that. You'll need fly screen or a plastic sheet with little holes in it to stop your dirt from ending up in your drainage layer. You will need dirt. That is cocoa soil, which is just cocoa peat. You can do whatever brand you want. This one's just a frog safe, wonderful brand. Cypress bark, so you want to mix that in with your cocoa peat with a little bit of sand, which for some reason I don't have the sand here, but sand as well. Any sort of aquascape rocks, we're just using red lava rock with this one, but you can use whatever you want. These are just golden Malaysian vine, but you can use whatever sticks and stuff you want. We're just using basic ones this time, and some sort of gravel to top off your substrate to stop things from moving dirt around the enclosure and that. So that is pretty much the basics of what you will need. Now we will jump to the enclosure. Okay, so these enclosures come with a top that actually opens all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. It has a polystyrene background, which is that thing there, and the doors open as well. Ooh-ah. So we need a drainage layer on the bottom, so about that high. So we're just going to use scoria. There is our scoria. There is Mr. Scoria. Is 100% natural. Anyway, so we are going to put drainage down first. Apparently people like stuff being poured, so I am pouring Mr. Serious Shrimp in there. There we go. So we have used 3 bags of Mr. Shrimp. That may or may not be his name. Mr. Shrimp. There you go. So that is our layer of scoria, which is our drainage layer on the bottom. Now we are going to put some plastic mesh over the top. Okay, normally you would use fly screen or something boring like that, but we've actually used dividers for fish tanks because it works perfectly. So now we have our layer, which is our drainage layer. We are going to mix some soil, which is a mixture of the tropical cocoa soil, which is just cocoa peat stuff, and cypress bark. Hurrah! Apparently made from green tree pythons in there somewhere. Probably not. So mixing those two with a bit of sand, and that is going to give us our planting layer. Okay, we have our cypress mulch stuff. We have our sand. There's our sand. We can make a little happy face with our sand. There's a happy sand. It's like he's got a tooth. There we go. He's toothless now. And we have our cocoa peat. So we're going to mix all them together. And that is what you want your dirt to look like. Mixed dirt. So that is the excitement of the dirt. So that is how deep our substrate layer is, where we're going to plant our plants and stuff. And then that is our bottom layer where any excess water will drain and not screw our plants up. So next thing we do is to dump all our hardscape rocks and driftwood and fun stuff in. So let's do that. And we are where the sticks are now. So the whole idea is to get sticks and branches that are going to sort of look natural for your setup. So you sort of kind of want them on angles and stuff like that. They're all going to be covered in plants and wonderful stuff like that. So if they look like this piece of Malaysian golden vine, which doesn't look very exciting now, it's going to go dark brown. You're going to get all your plants and stuff attached to it. So we shall grab some of these and go back to the tank. And my sticks are in my glass box. So what we are going to do, because these are just loosely sitting here, is we're going to zip tie them together so they don't all fall down. And that is what our bromeliads and plants are going to grow on. So let's zip tie. And we are zip tied. Wow. So you pretty much just want it sturdy enough that you can push it around and it is not going to go anywhere. So that way when you're planting stuff, you're zip tying your plants to all that, you're watering stuff, or if you do have animals in these things, like a frog or something, and you're moving things around, if you knock something, it doesn't all completely fall down. So these zip ties are going to be hidden. So once those little bits are cut off, you can put sphagnum moss around it and that, and you're not even going to see them. But that is going to give you your foundation of all your outer areas and bits and pieces. So we will cut all our extra bits off. And we have added some red scoria. So we are going to stick this rock to that rock. We're going to use super glue and some foamy stuff. We're not using foamy stuff. We are using filter wool. So let's jump to that. We are using flourish glue, which is just a tacky super glue, and some fluff. Here is some fluff. So we are going to put the glue in the fluff, put the fluff there, put that on there, and it's going to super glue it. Okay, now our rock is super glued to our other rock. We have our platform for our plants. We have our substrate, all the wonderful bits and pieces there. So now we are going to look at plants. So we want decent high plants as well as little plants. So we're going to do a mixture of things like alocasia, which is that thing there. We may do some bromeliads on the ground, but a lot of them are going to go in the top and that. We're going to stay away from succulents because they need less moisture and they can rot if they get too wet. But there are a few cool succulents like that dude that'll probably be okay. Maybe one of these guys, a Haworthia. So, and maybe ferns and stuff like that as well. And that stuff, which I can never remember the name, but it starts with F. It is a whatever it is. If you know what that is, comment down below. So we are going to grab a few plants. Okay, we have added plants. We've added a philodendrium. We've got that weird stuff that starts with F. We have bromeliads. We have alocasia. We have another alocasia there. More bromeliads. More of that stuff, which is really hard to kill. Green stuff. More green stuff. Don't like it. We are going to add some gravel. Definitely don't like it. The same method can be applied to little bowls. So this is a little succulent bowl by the magical Amy. She's part unicorn. You can use substrate layers as well down the bottom to stop water from soaking up into the plants and that. So succulents don't need as much water as the ferns and all the other bromeliads and stuff. But yeah, exactly the same idea in a little bowl. So fish bowls are not great for fish, but they are perfect for little micro habitats for succulents and plants. Isn't that lovely? That's lovely, Amy.
First attempt.
Well done. Amy's first attempt at a little succulent bowl. Ta-da! And it is vaguely finished. I am being perky and I'm not telling everyone that I don't like it because it is lovely. See? Yes, convincing. So that is our lemon lime philodendron, which is a lovely plant. We have our branches there, so you could use something like this for frogs. You could use it for like a little baby python, for example. Easy to water the plants. These are all low water plants, and if you do water it and you end up with too much water, the water will go down the drainage layer down the bottom, which is perfect. If you were going to use something like this for frogs, you can pop like a little water bowl there for them. It is all capped off with gravel so that if you did have anything live in here, it's not going to jump in the dirt and make a big mess everywhere. Bromeliads are super easy to look after. All you have to do is fill the middle with water, and they're like an air plant. They are a type of Tillandsia. No, they're not. Bromeliads, Tillandsia is a type of bromeliad. So anyway, they, yeah, fill them up with water. They will be perfectly fine and they will keep growing in there. We have the, what's that stuff called? What is that? It's a Sidonium. Sidonium. That is a Sidonium. That is another one right at the back there. So they will get bigger and bushier and cover the background. You could even attach bromeliads to the background if you want, but this is only a 45 cube, so not really any need to do that. That is the side view with lots of water on it. You get the idea. There it is. So now that I'm looking at it, it is not as rubbish as I thought it was. Not too bad. Don't forget, everything will grow and it won't look as tacky. Woof. The substrate is capped off with gravel so that you're not going to get dirt everywhere. All you have to do is water the plants a couple of times a week. Make sure there is water inside the bromeliads, and that is it. So if you want like super quick little videos about how to do stuff like this, just click the thumbs up button thingy, and yeah, comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you for watching.